this video, I would like to ask the question, are Shotspotters legal? The highly sensitive microphones that are put up in public streets all over the country. I'm not going to pretend to be a lawyer in this video, but I'm going to use common sense and basic reading skills to read the Bill of Rights, Constitution, and court documents to present my case. Yes, the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. Some act as if it's outdated, and most in power now seem to ignore it. But the fact is, every police officer or politician swears to uphold the Constitution. In my mind, the Constitution class should be taken by everyone who swears an oath to it. There should be a course for everyone in school also. I'd recommend this online class by Michael Badnarik. It should be a must-see by anyone who is cloudy on what their rights actually are. When I ask ShotSpotter, City Council, and Oakland Police about privacy issues or safeguards, they are silent, or they make me feel as if I'm bothering them. These questions that I ask are not supposed to be a secret. In their own report, it says they are transparent and available to show us all data with respect and integrity. Captain Joyner, the one I am directed to for questions about ShotSpotter, will now not answer any more of my questions. Odd. Honestly, who else is asking him questions about ShotSpotter? I really think I'm the only one. When I asked City Council President questions about where I'm supposed to find out information, she confirmed it is Captain Joyner who's supposed to answer. Transparently and with respect? Well, he told me he wouldn't answer any more of my questions and told me I should just make a public request. Well, I did do that. Here's what it said in one of the documents I received. It said I cannot find out anything about the ShotSpotter microphone's effective range unless I went to court for it. Transparent and available. Really? Just think about that for a minute. Let me try to explain clearly how this company is violating our rights. The Bill of Rights clearly states our inalienable right to privacy, a right that cannot be taken away. If I'm on the street talking with a friend or on my phone alone, I don't stop to consider whether I'm being recorded. Why? That is my expectation of privacy, my right that cannot be taken away from me. I expect there not to be a hidden, continuous, indiscriminate, intrusive microphone that is violating my and all of our inalienable rights. I may have an expectation that what I say may be overheard, but if I see a passerby, I might just lower my voice. But I don't expect a highly sensitive, hidden microphone just feet above me, possibly reviewing what I have to say, all because it happened while there was a loud impulsive noise at the same time. This is the very least it could do. This according to the Vice President. I wonder what other capabilities it has. I wonder why they won't tell us what these mics are capable of unless compelled to do so under court order. Now, if I'm under suspicion of a crime, it is possible I could be recorded outside, legally, but under very rare and specific circumstances, over and above the probable cause needed for an indoor bug. There has to be a very specific warrant stating a detailed reason and an exact time period, under oath and approved by a judge. So what exactly is needed to obtain a warrant?
So the police officer, whoever is going to get the warrant, they go to the judge, says, Judge, we're going to go and we're going to search for drugs. Why? Well, I think that they have just think. You just think. You have to have probable cause. We have to be, the house has been under surveillance. We've been watching them carry on all this stuff. They're taking in all this acetone and, you know, unless you have a lot of painting to do, you know, you're probably making methamphetamines or something like that. We've got all this evidence, and Your Honor, I swear they're doing drugs in this house. So the warrant has to be supported by oath or affirmation. Somebody from the government has to put their butt and their reputation on the line. I'm willing to take responsibility and liability for this warrant. Okay, here's your warrant. You know, oh, we tore the house apart and there are no drugs. Have they violated your rights? Has the government violated your rights? Yes. So what are you going to do about it? Now you go back to the First Amendment and your right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. You have a right to file a lawsuit against the government. Everybody in the government? No. Just the wingnut stupid enough to sign an oath to get the warrant. Officer Smith, you were the one that had probable cause. You were the one that put your reputation, your butt on the line when you swore this oath. Therefore, you are going to jail. We're going to take your house and property and sell it to compensate the victims of this. We need to have some sort of negative retribution when the government gets out of control.
So why do I have a reasonable expectation of not being recorded by a hidden microphone? Because it's explicitly against the law. I'm not sure there's even a debate on this. So though according to their argument, yelling on the street has no expectation of privacy, fine.
To me, that's not an issue. I think when you're speaking loudly on public streets, there's no expectation of privacy. No expectation of privacy when speaking loudly on public streets. So as I said to a colleague of yours from the New York Times, I believe certainly it will be challenged in that case. I believe it will be ruled admissible, and I think it will continue to be ruled admissible when it does pick up loud voices. Remember now, these weren't whispers, otherwise it wouldn't have picked it up. So I'm not, go ahead, David. Yeah.
There's a little point there that I think that you need to acknowledge, and the fact of the matter is, Shotspotter doesn't get activated by voices. It gets activated by gunshots. And gunshots activated the system. And within that activation, these voices were picked up. And it's a very serious distinction between.
So even if I'm talking as loudly as a bird chirping in the street, according to ShotSpotter, I have no expectation of privacy. But the point they clearly miss is this. I still cannot be recorded unless there is a warrant. Do you see the difference? Sam Sutter and ShotSpotter, Ralph Clark, James Bedlock, Lydia Barrett? I'm talking to you specifically. I know that I have your ear. Please come on here and tell me how I'm wrong, and I promise I'll stop. But the fact is this. Being recorded is surveillance. Being able to have a microphone that is always on with the capability of recording, storing, retrieving, and evaluating is illegal. Does anyone need more convincing? How about the case of Katz versus the United States? The court case states listening to and recording the petitioner's words violated his privacy, thus constituted a search and seizure. Regardless of a location, a conversation is protected from unreasonable search and seizure under the Fourth Amendment if it is made with a reasonable expectation of privacy. Wiretapping counts as a search. What would that judge say to a microphone on the street constantly, indiscriminately, listening 24/7, 365 days a year, and being able to record something as soft as birds chirping? So what's the expectation of privacy on your own front porch? Are you telling me that people who live in these homes aren't being overheard by these highly sensitive surveillance microphones? Are these residents consulted or even aware of these things? I know I wasn't. So what judge okayed this? Did ShotSpotter get a warrant for these microphones? According to the company, anytime there's a loud, impulsive noise, they can store it. So what exactly is a loud, impulsive noise? Well, I can think of a few off the top of my head. Dogs barking, leaf blowers, lawnmowers, wood shredders, sirens, doors slamming, car alarms, people yelling, loud trucks, loud motorcycles, helicopters, a basketball being dribbled, construction, loud music from a car, loud music from a house, car crashes, plane crashes. They claim they are loud, according to James Bedlock, to save this in case it needs to be reviewed. Well, by who and for what? I know my neighborhood has loud, impulsive noises practically all day and night. Exactly how long does this add up to every day? Every week? Every year? How long are they allowed to keep it? Who can listen? What are the safeguards here? Did anyone else even get to ask these questions? They certainly are ignoring them when I ask. How is it possible that an innocent person, talking on the porch or in their front yard, or with their door open or window, can hear their TV, they can hear into their living room, their bedroom, or their bathroom? How is it possible that even 1 second of their lives are recorded and listened to by James Bedlock? How is that possible? And how do they just brush this off? It's really hard for me not to scream and yell right here, but this is why I'm making a video. This is why I try to find some way to get answers, and try to make other people aware of this. I know there are so many shady things going on in this world, it's hard to follow everything. But this is Big Brother in our backyard, plain and simple. Are you okay with that? I found an interesting paper in the Stanford Technology Review written by Susan Freewald. She comments about a 4-factor test that is supposed to help courts to find illegal surveillance. The 4 questions to be asked are, is it hidden? Is it intrusive? Is it indiscriminate? Is it continuous? Let's go through these filters as regarding to ShotSpotter one by one. Number 1, is it hidden? Well, that is a tough one. It is hidden in plain sight. But when I first started asking what this thing was on my street, not even my councilman Dan Calb knew what it was. The company claims it's a deterrent. In real life, not one person knows what these are. I'm guessing people stupid enough to rob other people for iPhones aren't paying attention that closely either. Number 2, is it intrusive? I have a microphone directly in front of my apartment, and these people have microphones literally feet from their private homes. You could ask us if they're intrusive. I think you know what my answer would be. If they are truly being concerned about privacy issues, why not put these on higher light poles, billboards, or even tall buildings? Number 3, is it indiscriminate? This is a big yes. It can and does record everyone and anything, including happy birds. Remember, they are supposed to be very specific on who they are recording and for what reason. Remember, if they get a signed warrant, the signee is now responsible for surveillance, and if he finds nothing, he is liable. Number 4, continuous. Why, yes, these specific warrants are supposed to have a definitive ending time, not to be continually on. So you see, there is more to this than just simply, people on the street have no expectation of privacy. They manipulate that conversation so they don't have to talk about the reality. They put up microphones that listen 24/7 around this country with no privacy safeguards put in place. In my opinion, they are clearly in violation, and this is the reason they are so quiet and ignore these real questions I presented to them. Let's wake up, Oakland. Thanks for watching.